that's when the actual cold open can begin, because I think all of my sophomoric-ness got out because it needs to, because this is hard-hitting discussion. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Games with John and James podcast. I'm John.
And I'm James.
And I'm going to just start off light and breezy real quick. James, what did you do this week? It's been a while since we've recorded.
So this week has been kind of a whirlwind. I'm getting my feet wet at work now that they've finally given me an editor to where I can actually do my job. So, that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, so everyone, I have to give a massive shout out to Nick and Bruno over at quitthebuild.com. They brought us in with Podcasters United, and I actually was able to publish 2 articles this week. One of them was how I started my journey into gaming, and then the other was actually my first video game review in written format, and it was for a indie title called Pirates Outlaws. If you haven't played it and you enjoy roguelikes in any form or fashion, including the deck builder variants, you will love Pirates Outlaws. 7 Seas, fighting the Kraken, unlimited replayability. And I know what you're thinking. It's not a JRPG. What in the hell happened to James? Is John holding him hostage?
He feels the nudge of my repulsor ray underneath his desk, talk about the game, James.
I unabashedly sank, I think it was almost 25 hours to 30 hours into that game since I got it for review.
That's probably more actual game time than a lot of reviewers put into games nowadays. So kudos.
Exactly. So play that. Go check out quitthebuild.com. John is also part of the team as well. He will be writing as well. So you actually get to see more content from us in a written format. It is a fun, inclusive, and just wonderful network of amazing people, from content creators like John and I to just their variety of fans and people who enjoy everything that they do. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out. Please read the article. Let me know how it is.
Yeah, leave comments, comment, subscribe, and we'll finally have a place to post our writing that isn't the one thing I posted to the Tumblr we don't use.
Nobody knows.
Oh, pour one out for Tumblr. Anyway, yeah, so that's exciting, and you've been telling me all the details about that stuff, which is pretty freaking great. It's nice to be a part of a collective of some folks, some genuinely creative folks out there. So, yeah.
We are Go Team Podcast United. Rah, 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 cheerleaders, something.
If we get cheerleaders, something has happened to America.
So the nerd leaders.
Oh my God. We thought we would do better, but never mind. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
So instead of we're the kids in America, we're the nerds in America. Gamers.
And instead of saying, whatever the hell they say, whoa, at that line in the song, they just go... I wonder if that picked up on the mic. Anyway.
It did.
Okay, good, because I can't wait to hear that back in the editing. All right.
Oh, man. So what about you, John? How's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. We're finally getting to learning After Effects and a lot of the more animating side of the course I'm currently taking. And that's been a lot of fun because while granted there are some things in there, the way that the course is structured is you basically have a blueprint of where to find things, what to do and what to make and how to make it. So what they do is they walk you through it basically as a class instruction. And then they're like, okay, now do it again without our help. Do it by yourselves when it's not being demonstrated for you. And that's actually, I think, a good way to teach some of the fundamentals of that kind of stuff. But it's also, and then the next assignment was, okay, now we're going to give you something else to animate, something else to put into After Effects. Now do whatever you want. And then explore the filters, explore the effects and presets, move things around, try out 3D. And it's actually been pretty cool to see a lot of people's ways that they use I was going to say the machine, it's the software.
The machine.
Like it's a printing press or something. No, but I've been just having a lot of fun just screwing around with these programs and learning all this stuff. When I get back to, my shop, for the limited time I will be there, I will be very much using Illustrator way more, which I never thought I'd do.
Look, you've come full circle, young Padawan.
I'm going to be more dangerous than I am now. That's all I'll say.
John has leveled up.
Oh my God, I have. I'm grinding right now. And not just on the dance floor I do.
Oh, wow. You're in a real life JRPG. Congrats.
Life is an RPG. You level up, aka you get older, but instead of getting stronger, you
I,
get weaker.
I've seen your artwork. Yours is a JRPG.
Um, how dare you? But
I like how you can't refute it.
I like how I can, but I also am just like, he knows.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a monumental episode of Epic Proportions. And I
Yes,
say
it is.
that because what we're going to talk with you about today, hopefully you have seen it. If not, there might be some mild spoilers here and there, but that should not.
There is nothing to spoil in this movie. We are talking about everything that happens in this movie.
So, yeah, okay, there's going to be massive spoilers, but that should not make you shy away from seeing the movie. And what we're talking about is the Super Mario movie.
The Super Mario Brothers movie from Nintendo and Illumination. It is the thing to talk about right now, so we're going to talk about it. So when we come back, I'm stealing your lines already. We're going to talk about this dang movie. So let's go.
Wahoo! Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you got some magical Mario music there. I personally don't know because I don't know what music is going there. And
Imagine
John,
if we do the Mario episode and I put like Sonic music in there just to piss people off.
no, you put Mario.exe music on there.
Oh no. I put Somari music in there.
Oh man, you remember when the internet was going down those nightmare rabbit holes?
Yes, I do, because they were dumb. Like,
did you actively enjoy Mario.exe?
No, I played Sonic.exe and I was just like, this is so stupid.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
you can tell we're gamers because we make nothing but references to other things, kind of like this movie. Anyway, you were saying?
So, before we can dive into the movie, we kind of have to talk with you about our personal histories with Mario and kind of what our expectations were going in, because we here at Games with John and James, we want to set the mood. We want to build a story and establish the gravitas of the situation.
It's a nice slow burn that makes the eventual release all the more pleasurable.
So for you, John, like, when did you come to the Mario franchise? Like, walk me through John and Mario.
So I was very young, so I wasn't there at the origin of Mario. I wasn't like an '80s kid that played Nintendo for the first time, and my life was changed. I was born in 1988, and so my dad, I inherited like the Mario and like the Nintendo games that I played from my older brother and my dad. So I eventually played Mario 1 and Mario, and like my friends all had Nintendo systems, so we played Mario 3 and Mega Man and Turtles and all that kind of stuff. It was a good formative years in terms of like the gaming that I got to play. From there, my dad, instead of buying a Super Nintendo, because when you're a kid, you don't have money, you kind of do whatever your parents say. He decided to get the Genesis, which is where I played Sonic for the first time. And then from there, we got like my console evolution was Nintendo and Atari, because we had an old Atari that barely worked. Then we went to Nintendo, then to Sega Genesis, then PlayStation, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2 onward, right? So I did have friends that also had Super Nintendo, so I did get to play the Mario Worlds and the Donkey Kong countries and stuff, which was also a lot of fun. So Mario was always that kind of present in my life. And I remember when the 64 came out, and we didn't get one at launch or anything like that, but I just wanted to play Mario 64 so bad.
That was kind of, for me, like Mario 64, I will wholeheartedly admit when it wound up in McDonald's when they used to have the Nintendo
Oh my
64
God.
set up,
Yep.
young James spent probably 30 to 45 minutes playing with Mario's face and just enthralled by it. Well, and
Well, that's all the game. That's all the game was. That was it.
my dad was like, "You're not even playing a game. It looks like you are making him look like he's got some video game disease." And I will never forget my dad's comment with that.
It's one of those things you don't really forget. In the same way that I remember when McDonald's used to have Neo Geos in them, and I'd play those games. Like, yeah.
I mean, am I allowed to blow your mind in an episode?
No.
Well, I'm going to do it anyways. So all of those old cabinets that McDonald's and the other places had, your Nintendo 64s, Super Nintendos, your Neo Geos, they still have those.
What?
And you can purchase those
Oh
for
my God.
pennies on the dollar.
I need a cab right now.
Surprise!
Well, now I know, and now I'm going to go to eBay right when this episode wraps up.
Oh, no, don't do eBay. That's where you're paying premium dollars. No.
So do I just go to some random, like, excuse me, John McDonald, do you have the Neo Geo? And they're like, yeah, of course, here, just take it.
As you know, so random tangent, everybody. I apologize for the ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We love McDonald's thing.
Not sponsored content from McDonald's. But
so,
it could be. You can pay me in Whoppers.
In fries. They're fries.
Yes.
So McDonald's is either corporate owned or franchise owned, right? And some franchisees own multiple stores. One back in Florida, a guy owned 24 of them.
Damn.
The franchisees, what they do is they will warehouse stuff because they don't know whenever corporate's going to be like, hey, you got to redo this. You got to pay for this, blah, blah, blah. So by having that extra stuff on hand, they are able to kind of mitigate some of the cost that comes their way, right?
Okay.
That being said, if most of them are like the warehouse for the guy I'm referencing, shout out David Costa, changing the Gulf Coast of Florida one McDonald's at a time.
Wow.
Offline, I'll tell you how cool that dude is. But his warehouse, air purified, temperature controlled, light controlled, you name it. And then every quarter, there's like a deep clean for like dust and everything. I know him specifically, and if he has it, I'm pretty sure quite a few others have it, because I mean, who doesn't want to save thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars when big corporate McDonald's says, okay, franchisee, eat this cost to do what we think.
Yeah.
I saw them. So I used to work at McDonald's way back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm like the man of infinite jobs and
come
JRPGs.
a long way, baby. Come a long way.
But yeah, I saw those cabinets set up, and he had no plans on getting rid of them. I saw the Neo Geos, I saw the Nintendo 64s, I saw the Super Nintendos, and at one point, he even had Nintendos in his franchises.
Damn. Like, it's but they don't have like the consoles in them, though. No, for the cabinets, I can imagine.
No. Picture, I lift up, take whole cabinet, place cabinet, there's console inside.
I hope they do not have mold in them, but again, temperature controlled.
And air purified.
Don't want to breathe that McDonald's ass, dirty ass air.
So I'm sorry to take everybody on a wonderful journey, but I had to surprise John because now he has his chance to get his arcade cabinet Neo Geo. And then the games will make him cry.
Probably. But yeah, so from that tangent alone, and the fact that we were able to go worship at the shrine that is McDonald's and Nintendo in like one sitting, just goes to show that we have a relationship with this franchise, these characters in these games. Yes?
And we're old.
Okay, that's the unkind way to say that, but yes. So it stands to reason that, I'd say we were both reasonably excited at the prospect of a Super Mario Brothers movie. Yes?
We were. I remember my first experience with Mario. I got to play Super Mario 1. It was 1990. It's either 89 or 90. I will gladly throw my age out there. And it was so much fun. Like, I couldn't beat it. Like, young me was just like squirrel braining.
Dude,
And
like
then
no one when they were like first played Mario was good at it.
Mario 2, however, that one
Oh
I was
yes.
actually able to beat. And then I remember like Super Mario World I couldn't put down. I wanted to get all of the Star Road,
Hmm.
wanted to complete all the things, unlock everything. Like little me just went to town on it, right?
I'd say Mario World is actually my favorite of the original block of those games.
Mario 3 for me.
Hmm. You can be wrong. It's okay.
Oh.
And I imagine everyone listening right now, like, the f- did he just say?
But I kind of lost interest in Mario after after Mario World, because I little me just poured my heart and soul into that game. I kind
Uh-huh.
of lost interest, and then when Super Mario All Stars came out and you could play the
Yes.
lost levels,
Hmm.
I got sucked right back in.
And then they had a huge misstep by making him a baby in the next game, and all interest for me personally was just gone.
Insert floating Mario crying.
I will put that. I'll just gaslight people into thinking that they think they hear it in the background really faintly, and then they'll go crazy.
Oh man, but no, Mario's been a big part of my life when it comes to video gaming. Like I'm not all JRPGs, even though I'm looking over at hundreds of them as I look to my right.
It's fair, I think we've kind of fabricated a specific identity for the both of us. So we're more than just what we do on this show. We're human beings, people.
So when I will wholeheartedly admit, when John and I first heard of this, we were at work when I was back in Texas. John was like literally spun his chair, wheeled over. So we were picture cubicle farm, and John and I's cubicle were side by side.
Yeah.
John literally grabbed his work laptop, spun his chair, like flung himself, wheeling himself, by the way, over to my side. He's like, "You have to watch this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And both John and I were just like,
I think I was more like, huh, okay.
I'm trying to, show a little positivity from you, John.
No, I mean, like, I was excited when I saw the trailer. I was like, cool, I'll go see it. Like, I knew I was going to go see this movie when they announced it, even though when they announced it, they're like, hey, Illumination's making it. I'm like, great. Okay.
We have to that was one of the most well animated movies that I have seen. Like they put
We're
a
not,
lot of thought
we're
into
not,
every blade of grass.
we're not talking about the movie yet. We're talking about our expectations going in. Now, I think that's actually a good segue because my expectations upon seeing the trailer was, okay, it looks fine. It looks like an animated movie. That's fine. I had no faith that this was going to be revelatory filmmaking or something so groundbreaking and inspirational and insane that it would change my life. Like, I had no pie in the sky. Like, that's not what I'm looking for in this film. I was looking for a fun movie with Mario and friends. Those were my expectations. Just putting that out there.
John, much to his annoyance, I'm one of the people that I turn the creative thinking, I turn all of that off whenever I experience something. So I try and go in as blind and childlike to everything. So when I saw this trailer and I saw the people who were going to be voicing,
Oh, the
that
voice
was a
cast
little,
reveal.
yeah. So, I mean, that was definitely a little contentious for people because everybody was hoping for Charles Martinet and OG cast. So I was excited because I know all of these people pour their heart and soul into every role that they do, especially Jack Black.
Yeah, dude, just his entire presence around this film alone is a movie.
Yeah. I was really excited because for me, this is something like it's a big part of my childhood. It's a big part of your childhood, John, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
This is now something that I can have my nephew, Richard, go and see. Like I can hype him into my world more. And it's like bringing a whole new wave of people. So I was personally excited as hell. Like I could live at the movies. There is literally, so this is for you, John. Well, you won't be there long if you like movies, but at the Quarry, at Regal Cinemas nationwide, $18 a month, unlimited movies, and like a 25% discount on all like concessions. You can see
Right.
50 movies in a month for $18 a month.
Yeah.
I could live at the movies. I could literally, if that was here, I would be watching it today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day.
So what you're saying is you're more of a movie fan than a video game fan.
That has yet to be seen.
Okay, so you didn't fall for the trap. Good. But is there more to the explanation, or can I jump into some stuff here?
So that was our initial That was our initial, foray into it. Fast forward.
Because I'm glad that you brought up and said the things that you did, because that goes into, I told you before we recorded that there will be stipulations about this review and this episode, because we have to agree to these terms before we discuss this film. Okay? You have to. Otherwise, I will end the recording and we will record something else. So, the first one's a bit personal for me, because I am the person who is historically seen as the Sonic fan on this show, and I don't want that to color anybody's perceptions of my review of this movie. I am willing and able to sit down and try to be as objective as possible about the things I like and dislike about any video game, any film, TV show, no matter what. Okay?
All I have to say to that is I'm going to ask this right now before you apparently lay down the law on me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the Sonic movie more than Mario?
Yes, I did.
And therefore you validated everybody's opinion. Thank you. Continue.
Validated everyone's opinion about the Sonic movie. Yes. About the Mario movie, probably not. I'm pretty sure people are going to be mad. Anyway, so that is number one. The second one, we are going to discuss everything, potentially everything in this entire film. So there's no spoiler warning. In fact, this is probably your spoiler warning, because I have said to many people, I even texted it to you when you said no spoilers. I'm like, there's nothing in this movie to spoil. It goes exactly the way you think it does. So we're going to talk about this movie at great length, possibly even to my own demise as anybody's sees me as a reputation. We are going to talk about it. So that's number two. And if we can do that, that's fine. The third and final stipulation is based on what you just said. You cannot, over the course of this the course of this review.
I'm interviewing you, James.
Yeah, it's more like an interrogation at this point. No, at
Are you Chris Hansening me?
Huh?
Are you Chris Hansening me?
Do you have something you want to admit to? Jesus. The third and final stipulation, at no point in this review of this film can you say that it's just for kids or that you have to shut your brain off and just have fun. Because then why are we discussing it at all? If that is going to underpin every single thing we go on and spend hours, but I'm imagining this will be the longest episode we ever do. If you say that basically pulls the floor out from under this entire episode and gives nobody a reason to listen to this episode. Are we clear?
So what I'm going to say to that is you're going to get James, as you always get James. However, this movie is a must-see, regardless of what I personally do. Like, I personally just go in there like, yay, fun and excitement. With the exception, there are some movies where I'm literally like, I need to leave this theater.
Yeah. What I'm saying is at no point can you use those as something to write off any digression or complaint that we might see in this film. At no point are you able to do that. We have to discuss this.
So what you're saying is don't minimalize you.
Say what?
Don't minimalize you.
Don't minimalize us. That's what I'm saying, is don't freaking throw our opinions under the bus just because it's like, it's just for kids. Shut your brain off and have fun. Do you agree to these terms, James?
Wow. Literally, wow. Look, we're going to have fun with this in-depth review, and I'm going to segue over directly into this review of the movie.
You haven't said yes yet.
You're just going to have to trust me.
That is a tall order, but okay.
I said, you're just going to have to trust me.
Okay, with that, I want to take a deep breath. Okay.
So I'm going to take it over from John from here while he's getting all of the psychedelic, funky whatever is coming out of his system. He's given spirit hands, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's vibrating into the next dimension because he's on his 6th energy drink.
First, actually, thank you. I've actually not been drinking energy drinks since I've been here. It feels quite nice.
Aw. So, movie opens. It's
That was its first mistake.
So the movie opens and sets the scene in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
It opens with Easter eggs in a commercial
Hmm.
from Mario and Luigi. It opens into their lives as plumbers. You get a little bit of them trying to fix somebody's faucet, which is
Yeah,
just having a
the
little
the
drip.
dog from Up apparently has very bad sink problems because the character design for that dog, it looked like Doug, didn't you think?
Yeah, it did. And literally on the way to the house, it's the Super Cape from Super Mario World. It's them turning Brooklyn into a Mario level. It's Mario hopping down a pole like he's completing a level. So throughout this and the entirety of this movie, if you have been a fan of the franchise in any form or fashion, they Easter egged you, and they Easter egged you in spades.
Yeah, they don't shut the hell up with the frickin' name drops and Easter eggs of stuff. When you look at the wall that the TV's hanging on and you see like Glass Joe and Little Mac and like the Duck Hunt Duck, it's like, okay, we get it. It's a Nintendo movie. The place is called Punch Out Pizzeria, for God's sake. Oh, but we're
So
skipping over the cold open of the movie, which is basically what we got with the first trailer, which is Bowser attacking the Snow Kingdom and obtaining the Power Star.
one of the most adorable things ever, with the penguins running out and yeeting snowballs.
Yeah.
This is but a taste of our power.
So the
And
way that
Bowser just is like, yeah, no, burns it down.
yeah, and it's a good tone setter for the type of character that Bowser is, which I'm gonna color my review of this film as when I have something nice to say, I will call it this is where I say something nice. And so this opening scene, even from the initial trailer I saw,
You have to preface being nice.
yes, I do, because I will have a lot of things to say. And I have some things that I did actually think were good in this movie. So if that doesn't give up the ghost right away, no. So the tone setter for Bowser is that he's this powerful villain. Like he takes these adorable penguins, and granted, Kamek is like, it seems like Kamek is the most dangerous person in his entire army besides Bowser, which is crazy because he just, force pushes these penguins away and melts their kingdom and takes their star and imprisons all the cute penguins. Good tone setter for your villain. Good stuff. Then we go transition into the kitschy commercial with the Mario Brothers and the Italian voice that Chris Pratt tries to do.
So obviously, I can hear your distaste there.
What do you mean? I don't have any problem with Chris Pratt's voice as Mario. I don't care.
Okay, so you weren't one of those.
No, because even people legit asked me before I said, hey, I'm going to go see the movie. And they're like, isn't there like a lot of controversy around that? I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to go see the movie.
No, that's fair. So they get into a fight with their old boss because they quit to go be their own plumbers. They technically do fix the problem from their first call.
Yeah, but then because comedy movie, it's to crap.
Well, blame Luigi for breaking Doug's bone.
Well, the dog shouldn't have been so butthurt. Just get a new goddamn bone.
So you go back, you get to meet Mario's family, and they all look alike.
Yes, they do. So
it was like, huh.
So
okay.
as a potential Italian yourself, is that like kind of what Italian dinners look like?
I mean, wait, did you just say a potential Italian yourself?
You're from North Dakota, yeah?
I lived in Italy. I'm more Italian than you, son.
I'm not. It's not a spaghetti measuring contest, okay? I wanted to say something funny.
You can't own up.
Yeah, I'm more of a potato man myself. But anyway,
it was
Italians
all about the meatballs. Yes, that is the gathering.
Okay, Italian supper, authentic, cool.
So you fast forward. Mario gets the idea to, he wants to be the hero. He wants to save the business because he leaves on a sour note because his dad said, "You're dragging your brother down with you."
Yeah, they busting his balls in this scene. It's kind of crazy.
I will admit, I wasn't expecting to see that type of dynamic with where we knew they were wanting to take the movie, who they were wanting to approach. That hurts deep. That has some layers in it.
Yeah, that's for the 30-year-old fans who are watching this movie. It's like, why are you still playing these video games, kid? It's like, shut up, Dad.
So they go and try and save the city because apparently a water main's breaking. You get to see them
cameo. You get a cameo from Mayor Pauline, and I was just like, that's my girlfriend.
Yep. And then you get there wading into the sewer. You see the little whirlpool that they can go down in. Another Easter egg. they hop on the pipe and swing under, climb, another Easter egg, and they can't save it, and they fall. And
then they
break
immediately
the
get
wall.
trying to save Brooklyn, and then they're like, what is this place? And then they find a green pipe.
Did you notice
They
that
rolled
as
1,
they
2,
went,
and the music, yes.
no, it said level 8 once they hit the bottom.
Oh my god! I saw the 1, 2 on the sign that was in the stair they were going down. I'm like, oh for fuck's sake! I'm actually gonna bleep myself this episode, so I have to mark where those are.
So they make it through the warp pipe. Luigi goes first. Mario goes in. Mario tries to save Luigi. Luigi, I guess, takes the turn wrong, and he gets yeeted into the Darklands, whereas Mario winds up in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yep, they get isekai'd into Nintendo Land.
And so Mario, he's freaking out initially. I mean, who wouldn't? You're in a place with giant mushrooms. Introduce Treasure Tracker Toad.
Keegan-Michael Key, who was not allowed to sound black at all as Toad, and I was very disappointed.
Oh my god, John.
Just like as soon as they announced the casting, and then they did like all of the Toad voices over like Key and Peele sketches, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want.
Oh man! So Mario attempts to eat a mushroom. That's where he meets Toad. Toad yanks his crank. Mario says, "What's going on?" And then Toad's like, "Yeah, we're gonna take you to the princess." And you finally, so they start off. Then it switches over to Luigi. You see where he's ended up, and the Luigi's Mansion references.
Oh my god. Also, can we also just say, in terms of the pacing of this film, this has been like 15 minutes. Like, all this stuff happens at just like breakneck speed. It's freaking crazy. This movie does not slow down at all, and it's obnoxious.
I appreciate that.
I don't. So
you don't need a 4.5 hour Gone with the Wind Mario.
Who says?
Look, break it into parts, man.
Release the Mario cut.
Release the Mario.
Would it be the Miyamoto cut? No, the Miyamoto cut wouldn't have any dialogue. Never mind.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It would be a game. It would just be a video game. It wouldn't be a movie. Anyway, so we that's our setup. So that's our setup. The boys are separated. They have to get back together, and the princess is going to help. Okay.
So Luigi gets the short end of the stick in the Darklands. Like, it opens up. It's literally him, Luigi's mansioning in a forest with that light.
Yeah.
Runs into a dry bones. I thought the way they introduced the dry bones, I really like that. Like, he breaks it, the head comes back. Like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was. You got to see a game thing in a video game movie. How about that? What a novel concept.
And then not just one, apparently he pissed off the entire zombie dry bone army.
It's an ancient Koopa burial ground, apparently.
You see him running from what we can only assume is hundreds, if not thousands of these things, and makes his way into a castle, is able to somehow shut the door on hundreds of killer skeletons. I mean, I'd imagine someone with skin and muscles is a bit stronger than a sack of bones. Yeah, but hundreds of sacks of bones?
Look, I love goofy skeletons as much as anybody, but they're not that strong.
And then Luigi thinks he's safe, and we get introduced to the Shy Guys.
The Shy Guys and a Sniffet's there, and they're just like, what are you doing in this domain? They don't speak, except for the one time when they throw him in front of Bowser. But as someone who is chronically, habitually in love with the Shy Guys because their design is just perfect and it plays them in Mario Kart all the time and they make funny squeak noises, I was happy to see the Shy Guys. So that's another say something nice right there. I got to see a Shy Guy in a movie. Yay.
And a Sniffet.
Yes, I did. Sniffet, sure. They're not as cute.
You then segue back over to Mario, right?
And they're going through the city. Do you mind if I recap this part? So
go for it.
You get the entire, like, the second act effectively opens, and you see Toad exploring, guiding Mario through the city. You see how the Toad's, like, daily life is as they're, like, hitting blocks to get coins, and they're traveling on scaffolds and pipes and stuff. There's a funny bit where Mario's like, hey, look at these nice-looking pipes, and he gets sucked in and slammed around because that's all this movie is Mario falling over. Like, he's taking...
Can we just appreciate there's a job where all you have to do is hit a coin block and collect coins. That's a job. That's a good job.
That's America. We can just print money whenever we want.
Oh, John.
Inflation, real things, folks. Politics. No, but so he go and it's a whole scene where like they set up like the Mushroom Kingdom and how the toads live and the pipes, and like I was saying, it's like it's a little dangerous, don't you think? I'm gonna fall over again, aren't I, Toad? Yeah, whatever. And they finally get to the castle, and then they meet the two guards, and they're like, "Hey, hold on a minute, who are you?" And then they're like, we want to see the princess. They want to see the princess. Yeah, no princess here. The princess is in another castle. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. I roll, eyes gloop in my head because I'm like, yeah, the princess is in another castle. Okay.
Hey, you forgot to mention that Toad distracts them by pulling out his pan. Like we get this, like, oh, Toad's getting ready to go to battle because it like spins into his hand, and all of the traditional fight tropes happen, and then he's scrambling them. Anything
like what you guys want to eat? And I'm just like, you want to eat mushrooms? I'm like, but you are what? No, don't do that. That's
cannibals.
You know, it's like there's a part of me that's like wants to be CinemaSins so bad and be like, but aren't they mushrooms? Why do they eat mushrooms as power-ups? This is disgusting.
So Mario makes his way into the castle.
Yep, and there's a whole like, you know, war room scene where the Toads are like, Bowser's army has invaded the Snow Kingdom and obtained the Power Star. It won't be long until they come after us in the Mushroom Kingdom. And there's that line from the frickin' trailer. It's like, what can we do, princess? We're adorable. And I'm like, another joke for the frickin', like, you know.
John doesn't like kids.
I don't like bad dialogue.
Hey, that was a pure kid joke. Yes?
You're on thin ice. All right. Now, at least nobody farted in this movie. Spoilers, there are no farts in this movie. So if you wanted a fart joke, too bad. And also, you're depraved.
So Mario's running through the halls, dodging Toads left and right. Finally sees the princess, and she just like hip tosses him to the ground.
Yeah, like judo throws Mario. And I'm just like, okay.
And so you have the first meeting.
Another piece of evidence that this movie is just Mario falling down. This is the whole movie. This is what you're paying like $15 to go see.
And he goes down, down, Mario around.
Sugar, we're going down, wahooing. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been over 70 episodes, and I have now literally finally got John on an episode to sing with me literally right after my line happened creatively. Podcast is done. Thank you for playing. We'll never see you again.
100% completion. You made me Fallout Boy, and I hate you. Anyway, so they have their meet cute, I guess, where the princess is like, "You're not a toad, you're a human." It's like, yeah, and there's two of me actually. I'm looking for my. It feels like the Mario Super Show where Captain Lou is just like, "We gotta find my brother. He's over there, and he's good," and he's like freaking out. It's like, "You're right, Mario. I can help you, brother, but you gotta come with me to the Monkey Land." It's like, oh my god.
Oh man. So
I hope the amount that I'm laughing does not color anybody's perception that I just did not enjoy this movie. Like,
so we know where John stands and we know where I stand on the movie. But I will continue us going in. So this is kind of fun. Like, we're literally talking through everything. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
Peach is like, you can help me, but you have to prove your worth. And Peach literally just yeets herself through this like an obstacle course, what would be the equivalent of a Mario Maker level.
Yeah, like that was the whole point of that scene, was to establish like, you're watching a Mario movie. You paid to go see a Mario movie. Here's a Mario movie. This is what this looks like. And they play 80s music over it where like I Need a Hero plays. I'm just like, I hate this so much.
And Mario gets his butt whooped over and over. Also, apparently Mario hates mushrooms, which they inserted that there.
Yeah, they established that at the family dinner where they having like, some type of mushroom pasta. It's like, they're good for you, now eat them. And then he's like, no, I don't wanna. I'm 5. And then he's like, got any other? And I'm going to sound like a goddamn CinemaSins again, but like, so how do you get through the course? Like, well, you got to use the power-ups. I'm just like, okay, so you actively live in a world where weapons of war, where you can spit fire, just exist in meadows everywhere. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Again, it's kind of hard to establish really the stakes of this movie immediately, but anyway, he eats the mushroom, he becomes Super Mario, and then he gets hurt. Like I think Peach slaps him or something. It's like, oh, by the way, they go away when you get hurt. It's like, oh, so again, another reminder of like you're watching a Mario movie. That's how the game works. Go play our games. Bye, bye, bye. Consume.
So Mario goes through his training montage. Eventually, so they don't end it in the way you expect. Like you expect, cool, Mario's eventually going to make it through. They're going to go get the Kong army.
Mm-hmm.
Mario almost makes it, gets distracted because of Princess, and loses. And she's like, it's okay. You came close. You can come with me.
It's the most like why have never mind. Why have the scene and have it purportedly matter? But it's okay because they undercut that immediately too when they actually set out on their adventure and Toad is like, following them. And then they're just like, oh, don't worry, you can come. It's like, what about the trial for him? Like, what? Okay. Like, you're just picking up hobos on the street. Like, I want to come with you, princess. You got it, Mushroom Man.
I'm not afraid of anything.
I doesn't afraid of anything.
So go back over to Luigi. The Shy Guys are taking him over to Bowser. We also have a cutaway over to, Bowser.
He's throwing a huge kegger, like a rager, and he's telling his minions about how he plans to take over the world, and it's sweet. And then someone's, I will admit, this was another thing, a say something nice moment where one of the Koopas kind of raises their hand because he reveals the whole plot of like wanting to marry the princess.
Mm-hmm.
And the Koopa's like, what if she says no? And then he gets hit by fire and turns into a dry bones. I'm like, okay, funny.
Like, not even a split second. It's like, what if she says no? Boom, dos. And you just see that you can, even though it's a dry bones, they're not supposed to have like emotions in their eyes or anything. You can just see the emotion of this animated character basically being like, aw.
There goes my skin. There goes my skin and my wiener.
Oh my goodness.
So
he reveals his master plan, which is he's going to marry Princess or destroy everything.
Yeah, he's basically, again, another like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, this guy is actually capable of destroying things and he's willing to do that. Cool. Establishing more of your villain.
So we cut back over to Mario and Peach making their way to the Kong Kingdom. Mm-hmm. And you see one of the Kongs run up in a lab coat and sunglasses.
He's a monkey bouncer. But let's not overlook the scene where like they're camping out at night in like the flower field and they actually have a moment where they talk about like, so you're not a toad like everybody else. It's like, no, I came here when I was young apparently, and then they made me their princess. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting thing. So that's like the third or fourth thing that was actually interesting about this movie that you completely are in a hurry to run away from. So thank you. Thanks for doing that.
So, okay, fine. That did happen. But now we get to the Kong Kingdom and
we get a dope ape with some shades on his dome. And he's just like, name.
And he had the Johnny Bravo hair.
Yes, he did.
They asked to go see Crazy Kong. And
Cranky Kong.
Sorry, Cranky Kong. My apologies. And at first he's like, no. And then he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And they hop in.
Princess.
A little chair pops up in the back of the car of the big huge thing, the big huge 4-wheeler, for lack of
the cart. They get into the Mario Kart. They get into the Mario Kart, and then they go drive to Cranky Kong.
And you see monkeys wiping out due to a banana peel. You see them hit a ramp, use a hang glider.
Yeah.
So they make their way to Cranky Kong. They're talking with Cranky Kong, and Cranky Kong at first, he does what you expect. Sure. And then they're like, really? And he's like, no. And then offers them a choice. He's like, we'll help you out if you can.
If you can beat Seth Rogen in an arena battle, I can have my army give, So, I hope that in that, as you were describing that cart scene, as they're introduced to the monkey land, the Donkey Kong country, I hope people just understood the disdain in my voice of just like, and then the cart wipes out from a banana peel, and
we can tell where John's thoughts are, which we are going to get to after we get through this going over the movie.
This recap, yeah.
So, cue battle scene. Donkey Kong comes out,
slaps the crap out of him.
And Donkey Kong, he's basically, living it up, hyping himself up for the crowd, making his pecs flex. You get a Diddy Kong cameo. Sitting next to Diddy Kong is Dixie Kong.
And Chunky Kong. Like, you get the whole crew. Yeah.
Yep.
The whole DK crew. Yes.
The DK rap is present.
And not credited to Grant Kirkhope in the end credits, which is lame.
It could be an oversight. Maybe it'll happen once it releases on a home version.
They better. Also, I like how you caught yourself before you said home video. That also shows how old we are.
So Mario attempts to fight him. Like, Mario leaps into action, gets caught, slapped around. For a solid 5 minutes, Mario is just getting his butt kicked. One of them is Mario gets the mini mushroom and just gets wrecked.
Yeah, because he's like, and there's a scene where it's like he starts running. It's like, let's see what this does. And then he turns all tiny, and then he gets the cat power. And then it's like, oh wait, I'm a cat. And then he just slaps the crap out of Donkey Kong. He wins, and then they're like, cool. If you want to ride with our army, you gotta ride dirty. So they go to the kart making scene, and the kart making scene has Thunderstruck playing, and I hated it. Because it's like select your cart, and it's just like the wheel selecting from Mario Kart 8, and I'm just like, okay, sure, whatever.
Oh man. So their plan is to use the shortcut.
God.
So I'm not going to reveal that. I'm not going to reveal the shortcut back to Mushroom Kingdom just yet, because
then we have to cut back and make sure that we know the stakes, because Luigi's getting interrogated by Bowser, and Bowser's really insecure, and he also does a song called Peaches, which I remember sitting in the theater as he started to sing the song, and I was literally hitting my head like this, like, please stop singing.
Because this was also the moment where, so Bowser's at the piano, he gets interrupted by
Kamek, yeah.
And Bowser's like, here, sit down, let's play, and you get ding, ding,
yeah.
And then he just slams the piano shut on his hands.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I thought, in a say something nice moment, I thought that was actually a pretty well executed scene. Again, establishing more of the relationship that this character has with his subjects, I suppose, and also a way to tie it back to the video game. So again, a very nice, well written scene. So that's maybe 3 things I've said that are nice. Okay.
Yeah. John's going there. So Luigi shows up. You actually get to hear the Shy Guys in the snippet.
Mm-hmm.
His way of interrogating Luigi is, first he picks him up. Luigi's, not saying anything. He pulls one hair out, and then he grabs the whole mustache, and finally Luigi spills the beans. And
enhanced interrogation techniques.
And you just see, like, when Bowser, like, chucks him down, you see, like, a handful of hair falling, and you're like, huh. Damn.
Like, and it's like, let's see how he looks like when I kill his brother. And again, the movie did not shy away from using words like kill or destroy. Like, they didn't kid it up by saying, like, when I beat up his brother. It's like, no, he says kill, and I'm like, dang, he is down bad for murder.
So Luigi goes
down bad for Peach and down bad for murder.
I mean, Bowser, what do you got to do? So cue Luigi going to jail.
And there's the Luma there, and everybody thought that was so funny, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
The Luma with an existential crisis of basically the most morbid and sad everything.
I liked the reaction from the penguins more of just like, because it felt like it was me the entire movie. It was like, shut up, please stop.
So we come back over, carts are made, and Mario and company they get out on the road. So
the Rainbow Road.
That is the secret. The secret way back is the Rainbow Road. And Bowser...
Apparently the Rainbow Road exists over the Donkey Kong country, apparently. So, yay. Okay.
And Bowser ain't going to ambush them. So they hit Rainbow Road. Bowser ambushes them and cue chaos on Rainbow Road.
Yeah, that's where usually in movies like this, there's the plot twist, and then that's where it happens. And there's a long, drawn-out scene of them basically playing Mario Kart. You watch the movie makers play Mario Kart for like 10 minutes, and then it ends with something I hated. It was the blue shell Koopa comes out and says, "You're not getting away that easy," and screams blue shell, then turns into a blue shell and goes and blows up the Rainbow Road, effectively sending Mario and Donkey Kong to their death. You don't have to shout blue shell when you know that the blue shell turtle is going to go do the thing, because everybody knows, because Mario Kart has sold on the Switch over 55 million copies. Everyone going to see the Mario movie knows what's going to happen when a blue spiky shell shows up. I could literally feel like the producer's note saying, like, well, we got to make sure that people understand that they know what's happening in the movie. So make sure that he says blue shell so that people will know. And I'm just like, shut up.
Oh my gosh, John. So as he said, Mario and Donkey Kong, they hit the ocean. Peach and Toad make their escape.
Yeah.
Bowser comes, captures all the Kongs.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of an argument happening in the water, and Mario saves Donkey Kong, and then they get eaten by the eel. They escape the eel. Like, Mario makes Donkey Kong mad, and like they're insulting each other back and forth. And
they're from the moment they meet to the point where they're actually working together to save the world, their relationship does not change, and it sucks.
Oh, and forgot to mention, in the fight scene of Mario and Donkey Kong, the original music from Donkey Kong's game, when he was up looking down on Mario, throwing barrels at him, played, that was cool. I appreciated that.
Sure.
But so fast forward, they're in the eel. Princess and Toad make it to the Mushroom Kingdom barely.
They tell everybody to evacuate because, Peach loves her little Toad so much that she's like, everybody evacuate, get out of here. I'll face him alone, which is dumb, which is a dumb thing to do because you have access to fire flowers and all the other stuff in this city. Why did you do that?
So she grabs a halberd, like spins it, like goes martial arts mode, holding it in one arm behind her. Like, it's like, oh, okay, she means business.
Yeah, she means business. And then as soon as Bowser introduced any type of stakes whatsoever to the entire movie, she's immediately like, okay, I'll do what you say. It's like, Jesus.
Well, what John is omitting is at first she was ready to fight, but then Magical Koopa, I keep forgetting his name.
Kamek.
Okay, Kamek. I always forget that guy's name.
Well, he's also he's had many names over the years. In the stupid Deke cartoons, he was called Wizardheimer. So
So Kamek magics Toad and is basically squeezing him.
He's force choking him. Yeah,
about to make him pop, and that's when Peach agrees because she cares about her toads. So don't let what John said ruin that moment, because there was a little bit of gravitas to it.
She tells everybody to run away, and it's like, don't worry, guys, I want to go surrender. Don't worry.
So we go back to the eel. Mario and
Donkey Kong are still fighting, and then they find out if they just make the eel burp, then they can escape. So they use the Mario Kart that had like a barrel rocket, which reminded me of Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, which is another reference I'm sure was purposely put in there. They get out of the eel and they fly away. And yay.
Cut back over to wedding. Kamek goes to the prison. Like, you have a prison scene when all the Kongs fall in. Luma is still being very emo and sad. And then Kamek pops up and says, "Good news, everyone! You're gonna be sacrifices today.
You get to go and watch the royal wedding. Yay! Which you will be sacrificed. Oh, no." And then the Luma's like, finally, mercy.
Then it cues over to the wedding party starting to get there.
And why is Toad in this scene like, "Here, princess, here's your bouquet"? It's like, so they captured Toad and then they let him go? What? Like, okay, I am willing to forgive certain plot holes and certain things in movies because this is where I'll flex some of my credentials here. So in the Cahiers du Cinema interviews with Alfred Hitchcock himself said, people ask me all the time, why don't people in movies go to the police whenever someone's in trouble? And he matter-of-factly said, they don't go to the police because it's dull. They say, like, in those discussions, in that magazine, and all that film history, Films can be stronger than reason. But at the same time, I am sat there wondering, as I'm sitting and watching this movie, why was Toad captured and then not? Why wasn't he in like the cages about to be killed? Like at this point, you've pretty much established Peach as a character who's very resourceful. I'm sure she could have gotten a power up or whatever, the ice flower or whatever, any other way. But okay, we just need to put Toad here. Okay.
So you also get
Oh
to
my
see
god,
King Bomb. That was cool.
the Bob-omb King was. It was nice to see him. I'm glad he's still alive, but not for long.
And then you had King Boo and, the baddies, whatever. Comes back over.
You had Mario cameos in a Mario movie. I think that's a funny way to look at it.
Yep. Comes back over. The rocket gets shot down over the Mushroom Kingdom, and cue Donkey Kong and Mario getting power-ups, and
they did the third side scroller scene in the movie where they go and they throw things around and action boy it up, and yeah.
So switches back over. Bowser lets Peach know, oh, look, there's sacrifices for you. So they start lowering into the lava, and then Peach, surprise, says no.
And she says, no, I'll never marry you. And it's like, well, I'll kill them anyway. And then what a bastard moment from whatever. I'm exhausted recapping this movie because I'm just channeling myself back to when I was in the theater being like, please end.
So fight ensues. Peach freezes Bowser. Peach initially stops them from lowering into the lava by freezing the chains. Fight's happening. Mario and Donkey Kong are making their way onto it. Finally, they reunite. Bowser gets livid, breaks out of the ice.
He does the Bonsai Bill, and we set up for our final confrontation of the film. I also just want to say that in the Super Mario Brothers movie, the Mario Brothers aren't together for a majority of the movie, and I'm like, okay, that's a choice. That's a choice to make, I guess.
Cue Bonsai Bill. Mario kicks it in the eye, and it literally stops on the flag.
Yep.
And then chase scene ensues. Mario flies through a couple mushrooms. He sees the warp pipe, guides him into that.
This certainly won't have any consequences for my daily life when I return home to Brooklyn. I'll blow it up. I wonder what the thought process was there, Mario.
So backflips over it, and it's like, oh, cool. And then Bonsai Bill goes kaboom, and cue massive warp scene.
Yeah, okay, so what does that mean for the logistics of this entire world that they've established? So the warp zone is there, and then all of the Mario-ness gets sucked into New York. Is that what happens?
Could be interconnected. So reference back to Peach in the scene when they're at the campfire. Peach talks about there being countless worlds out there. So
and galaxies, Super Mario galaxies. Anyway,
so I think the warp pipes, it's a connecting of the galaxies and everything. So that is establishing that worlds can collide, galaxies can collide.
Right, in terms of the metaphysics of this, what am I even saying? In terms of the actual workings of this universe, they basically ripped a hole in the universe and had all the Mario worlds sucked into it. So I'm just wondering what that means for the future. But then again, it doesn't matter because of how this movie ends. So whatever.
So they arrive in Brooklyn. Bowser starts wailing on Mario.
Yep. Smacking the absolute Italian out of him.
And then cue Donkey Kong shoulder charging Bowser, and then Bowser just yeets Donkey Kong like he's nothing. So Bowser's fighting Donkey Kong, Toad, and Peach.
Yeah, we've gotten to the boss battle of the movie. That's what it is.
And I was a little sad because Donkey Kong, I feel, would be a match for Bowser, and he was getting ragdolled.
Yeah, well, again, establishing some sort of stakes in this frickin' movie because the entire time there's none. So anyway,
cue Mario getting ready to go because his plan is get the superstar. Doesn't know what's going to happen, but maybe it'll help, right?
Yeah, and then you get the scene that a lot of people say is where the arc of the characters pays off, where Luigi jumps in front of the fire that Bowser's shooting with the manhole cover to save his brother. Which, yay, okay. As someone who has a brother, we both have our own brothers in our own family. So that was a nice, touching little scene. Sure. Then they get the Power Star, and then the movie's effectively over because when you touch the Power Star, you're invincible, and they beat the crap out of Bowser.
So Bowser punches them, nothing. Kicks them, nothing. Fires them, nothing. You get a Mario 64 reference by them grabbing his tail and spinning him.
And then that was a moment where I was listening to other people's reviews of this movie because people have their takes on it, and I wanted them to. And one of the things I made sure to do when watching this movie was I needed to go see this movie before I heard anybody else say anything else about it, so it doesn't color my view of the film. I wanted to hear things after the fact and hear what people have to say about it because it might contextualize things a bit better for me, right?
Yep.
So when I hear other people's reviews of then they spin him around like Mario 64 and I clapped because yay, Mario 64 reference, I'm just like...
So they beat Bowser. All is right in the world. The family's proud of him. They make the front page of the paper.
All you need to do to make up for a lifetime of familial disappointment is beat up a giant lizard. Don't worry. There's a way out, guys.
And they mini mushroom Bowser and put him in a glass jar.
And hopefully it doesn't have holes, so he dies.
So
that's dark.
Front page hits. It's really cool. Fades to black. Opens up with Mario waking up, getting ready for the day. Opens the door. He's in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Because apparently that giant rift in the universe just closed, apparently.
Well, yeah. Remember, you saw it reclosing with the Superstar stuff. So the Superstar can heal the universe, apparently.
That's so goddamn lazy. I hate it. I'm sorry. It's so stupid.
So movie ends. There are two...
Mercy. I'm like the Luma. Finally, mercy.
There are 2 post-credit scenes. So we get more...
One is a freaking reprise of the stupid-ass Peaches song.
Peaches, 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 Peaches.
And Toad is me, and I'm Toad at this point, like, hey, shut up in there.
And then the last one, at the very end, all the credits final out, you get Yoshi hatching in Brooklyn.
Yep. I actually learned about that scene after the fact because as soon as the credits started rolling, I was just like, I'm out of here. It's like 2 a.m. I'm out of here.
Oh man. That is a very
truncated. It was it was about 40 minutes of talking about it, but that's now you don't have to go see the movie, so we saved you some time. I also want to really preface again as we talk about this film some more. I did not go in wanting this movie to leave a bad taste in my mouth. I made a day of it. I went to the Yard House, which is over at the Arundel Mills Mall. Wonderful food. I had a really nice dinner. I had a drink, and I was like, yes, I am ready to go and sit and hopefully enjoy my time watching this film. And I did not. I tried to get myself as pumped and ready to be like, yes, I am here. This is a cultural touchstone for a lot of people, and I want to enjoy it. And I just didn't.
So before we dive into what we're diving into, John,
we're going to need a musical break, but yes, continue.
Well, before the musical break, this is our segue to the musical break. You have to rate this X out of we'll do the 5 stars. X out of 5 stars. What is it for you?
2 out of 5.
You know where John stands. It was a 4 out of 5 for me.
Wow, I thought you were going to go 5 out of 5 just to be contrarian, but yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 10 or a 2 out of 5. In terms of IGN style ratings, which is all that matters. Freaking, that's the number. There you go.
Oh man! So when we come back, we're going to share a little bit of thoughts, opinions, and other things pertaining to the movie. Now, I will say, this is our opinions. You're going to go see it. You're going to form your own opinion. Cool, fine and dandy. But you're not listening to this show for your opinion. You're listening for our opinion. So when we come back, that's it.
You wanted this. You asked for it. Now you're going to get it. Okay. We'll be right back, folks. So in the Sonic movie, the sequel to the Sonic movie, there's a scene where they're at the wedding, the sister's wedding,
Yeah.
and you hear Tom's ringtone, and it's Green Hill Zone.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because Green Hill Zone pertains to the Mario movie because Sonic versus Mario.
No, what I'm asking is, in the universe that the movie establishes, what the hell is that song? Why does it exist?
It's an Easter egg, John.
But why?
Because they can.
Because they can, because they know it's a reference. It's a shallow way for nerds to watch and go, oh, I get it. And I hate it so much.
So what you're going to find, ladies and gentlemen, John has taken his line in the sand.
Yes, I have. And I think a lot of people should join me on it because the whole line in the sand is I don't like being pandered to or feeling like I'm being pandered to. I don't enjoy it. And that's what this movie felt like to me. Overall, with my the emotional core of what I was feeling as watching this movie, I'm like, yeah, this is a commercial for Mario. Like Super Mario and Nintendo, go buy our games. And I'm like, yeah, maybe this movie should have been a game instead. It might have been more fun. Because when I'm coming in fast right out of the game.
The Switch wouldn't have been able to handle it if it was a game.
And we'll wait until Switch 2. Then real games will come out for it. No, but the inherent interactivity of video games makes your experience different with any type of medium. When it's a movie, it's a very passive thing to do. So when you're doing passive entertainment, when you're ingesting entertainment, basically, there's got to be like a good reason, or you should at least enjoy what you're watching. So as I sat there for an hour and a half, I was like, I want to leave. I don't want to watch this movie. I'm not having fun. So, holy crap. So let's get into it and how I again, that's my line in the sand immediately. What do you have to say?
So, this movie, obviously, we know where the target was. So, if you we mentioned it way back at the intro of this episode.
You're on thin ice again.
It doesn't matter if you were a young kid whose only experience was Super Mario Odyssey or Super Mario U Deluxe, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter if you were John and I with Mario 1. You were seeing this movie. If you have played a Mario game or seen Mario at any point in your life, you were going to see this movie. When I saw it, literally 9/10 of the theater was adults, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about that, right? Like, people were going to see it. It doesn't matter, good, bad, ugly, flop, not flop. Everybody and their mother was going to see it, right?
I like how it doesn't matter. Great.
Hold on. So I think so I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like, me personally, I enjoyed the movie. I got caught up in the rush of so the movie is chaotic. It moves at breakneck speed, what could have been arguably, an act 1 to an act 2 to a closing act 3 was an act 1 to eventually closing act 9, right? It was insane.
A 9-act structure, even Zack Snyder wouldn't do that.
It was manic. This movie, it did not take its foot off the gas. And for me personally, I enjoy things like that, but also at the same time, I have to be honest, like, that's chaotic. And a little detrimental to the chaos is the fact that in that chaos, they're throwing Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg after reference after reference after reference after reference. So you're kind of having to watch it in two forms. You're following the chaos and you're following the Easter eggs.
I would debate that one of those doesn't have to exist at all, but okay.
I mean, that's what it was.
I know. That's why I don't like it.
I think the moral dilemma is this. There's no real concrete story for Mario. If we look at the games, the princess is in another castle. You're going through up to level 8, fight Bowser, win, yada, yada, right? Hold on.
Okay.
I know you're going to dive into this. I
want to jump through the screen, but anyway, please continue.
So if you look at it on the basic level, right, there's no real story. And that's what I think led to the chaos, because instead of them actually looking really hard into the story, they were just like, oh, cool, we can mash up and go. And I think the pacing was very, as even though I enjoyed the movie, the pacing was detrimental.
That's what I feel like everybody has said that in every review, positive or negative. And that's fine. Really. Like, not every movie is a perfect movie, and you can kind of let those things slide. Like,
Not every movie can be Little Nicky.
Popeye's chicken is freaking awesome. Anyway,
is that Ozzy Osbourne?
Okay. Before we go into a Little Nicky review, no. So what you're basically saying, and what a lot of this review has kind of focused on, is that this is not a movie. It's a commercial where they took the approach of Mario and Super Mario Brothers kind of like as if it was a brand. They didn't see it as character. They didn't see it as story. They saw it as, we have the rights to all the Nintendo things to play with, and we're going to play with them. And that, I felt, was... Some people like to go and pay to watch giant commercials for things they already know that they want to buy, or they need some reassurances that they're going to buy. That's just fine. But this movie is nothing but Mario-shaped colors and sounds on a screen for 90 minutes. And I hate to just say it this way, but try harder. Do better. Like, this is the Mario movie. Like, that means you're supposed to try harder. And I swear to God, knowing what I know about Miyamoto, like, if he was an EP on this, and so he was involved with the production. So I swear, if he was in the writer's room basically throwing out ideas that were actually interesting for the sake of whatever, his personal vendetta against doing anything narrative-wise with his characters or games, I will fly to Japan now and slap that old man. I will slap that old man so hard.
What John is saying is he will turn into Segata Janshiro, and hip toss him with explosions and not die to club zombies.
And then I'll take his job and be like, cool, a new era. Because that's how promotion at Nintendo works. Kill the old boss, become the new boss. Remember that knife fight between Doug Bowser and Reggie Fils-Aime? That was great. Because it's one of those things where I feel like I'm being gaslit, because when I hear people's positive reviews of this movie, it's just like, is this really where the bar is? Is this really all we want?
So, you know me, John. I'm a very optimistic person. This is my hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one, every first movie for the most part, unless it's like a true standalone, will never be sequeled, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They try to set the path for the next ones. And I think we got the mashup to lay the foundation for the many other movies that they could do. Because we got references to galaxies. We have Yoshi in Brooklyn, which I'm only assuming is not going to be a good thing.
Maybe. But we also got the Luma, which implies that the Rosalina might be in the future. We got all the cameos. So it's again, it's a commercial for other future potential, hopefully better movies.
It does what it needed to do, which was it laid the foundation arbitrarily in a very commercial-driven way.
What I think it needed to do was be a good movie, and that seemed very far and away not the objective.
I mean, currently, they have $93 million made in box office on their $100 million budget.
Good for them. I'm happy. I'm happy that people who make money keep making money.
John is snarling, ladies and gentlemen, as he's saying that.
I have a certain disdain for Illumination in particular, because their modus operandi, the entire operating philosophy that their studio has, is make movies as cheaply as possible so that they can turn a big profit and make a lot of money. Now, that does not mean that they have not made good movies. Sing is a movie about talking funny animals singing cover songs, and yet that movie was good and actually had emotional presence to it with its characters and its world building. I will even throw a bone to Despicable Me 2. I went there on a date with a girl, and I was like, "Really, you want to go see this movie?" I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh, I pick up what's going on here. Like, I see the machinations of what's actually happening at the emotional core of the movie, like family issues." family issues, like growing as a family, meeting together and stuff like that. I'm just overriding what you just said. And then even Despicable Me 1 does that a little bit by, Gru is this hard and tough villain who learns to become softer because he adopts these kids. Like, I get that. There's actual stakes and emotional content there. This movie had none of that. It was in such a, like I said before, it was in such a rush to not be interesting by abandoning all of the interesting things it tries to set up, and it just sucks. It sucks.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball, John. What if there was genuine concern about doing a narrative driven Mario? Because that's what a movie in your brain would have been: narrative driven, plot, et cetera, right?
Because it's a movie. Yes.
So what if in that trepidation to do that, because they might have thought it would not have been well received, that's what resorted to what we got?
Then why make the film?
Because it's Mario and he needs a damn movie.
No, he doesn't. What he needs is more games. Mario Odyssey came out in 2017. We need a new Mario game. We don't need a Mario movie.
Oh, you didn't see the trailer? It got announced.
Shut the hell up. You're lying.
No, you want me to send you the link right now?
Yeah, send me the link right now, because I know you don't have one.
Never gonna give you up.
Uh-huh. See, like I'm trying to take this as seriously as possible, and you're over here juggling, and I'm like, stop it. Put the juggling down. Take the clown paint off, and let's have an adult discussion here about our kiddie movie, all right?
Look, hey, we have definitely been doing it. Like, your line in the stand, I mean, it's very valid. I think so for people who go into the movies with the expectation of XYZ, you're the XYZ, John.
Mm-hmm.
This did not deliver.
No, it didn't.
It delivered a fun experience, but it didn't deliver on something that makes you vested.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act.
I went in expecting something. Like I said at the top of this episode, I wasn't going in expecting Oscar-worthy performances and high art cinema or crap like that. I went in there expecting to have a good time. That is the bar, and it didn't even reach that bar.
Hey, Jack Black gave us something awesome. Okay, let's be real. Out of all of the actors, all of the voice actors, who do you feel you were okay with? For me, it's Jack Black. He stole the show for me.
No one.
Ooh.
Because I'm playing back. We just recapped the movie, and I basically rewatched the entire movie in my mind as we did that. And I thought about all of the scenes and all that stuff. Jack Black, when he's on, can give an amazing performance, but then when he just starts singing or doing certain lines, I'm just like, oh, that's just Jack Black.
So what you're saying is you're not a fan of peaches, 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 peaches.
I like tight buns. I do not like peaches.
That should be our outro song for this episode, Peaches.
No, it won't. It'll be the Dub Pistols about looking at butts. And then it'll be followed up by clappers.
I think the big message that John is trying to get here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm even going to yes, but I will agree with him. It's Mario. You could have made it literally a game about Super Mario Brothers 1. You could have made it about Super Mario Odyssey, right? You could have stuck to one game and that was it.
But instead,
we're going to go see it. We are going to go watch it. We all love Mario. I mean, look at the Super Mario Brothers 3 commercial back in the 90s. Mario, Mario, Mario. That is literally, by the way,
you're our God. You're our God.
Go watch that reel on our Instagram. I have been giving very juicy old commercials, and it's been a very wonderful romp through commercials past.
Yep. The Super Mario Land 2 commercial where Wario's all gross and floating in a void, like, do not let Mario get the golden coins. He is your enemy. That hurt my throat. Ow.
But that being said, you could keep a nice, tight script. It's Mario. We appreciate Mario for what Mario has done for us throughout our lives, our childhood, and everything. You don't have Me personally, yes, I enjoyed the experience, but I have to I have to agree with John here. You don't need to mash it up. You don't need to combine everything in and give us a manic pace like we're on the bus with Keanu Reeves in Speed. That's it. How's that for a deep cut?
That's a good movie. I'd much rather watch that instead of the Mario movie, actually.
Well, we know what John's watching later today.
No, I have to edit this freaking episode because there's a part of me that wants to have like an entire hour dedicated to me just yelling about the things I don't like in this movie. Why does Donkey Kong have more lines in this movie than Luigi? In the Super Mario Brothers movie, why is that the case?
Good question. I think if you're gonna continue this, it has to. You got your commercial, right? You got your wow factor, right? Now you can deliver narrative Mario. And
again, I swear to God, if Miyamoto is the reason that all the interesting ideas were thrown out of this film, I will slap him. I will say it to John Shiro, as you said. I will do that because...
Hey, you're using one of my lines.
Hey, you used one of mine earlier. I can't remember what it was, but you did. Again, like sometimes the hate just kind of seethes past up to the brain and it fries it a little bit. Tight script, that's what it was. Yes. Anyway, I have more I want to say. Like personally, I'm just going to say some things that I personally just didn't like about this movie. Is that okay?
I mean, it's our show. You can say what you want.
Okay, it wasn't funny. Like none of the jokes landed at all for me. So that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, Toad did not need to be there at all. Like Toad's just there, and then he just kind of shows up and leaves whenever he freaking pleases. Because like that some scriptwriter was like, oh, we should probably put Toad in the movie. Third, Action Girl Peach, I'm kind of split on because you've established that this princess is more than capable of literally doing everything by herself. Why does Mario need to be in the movie? And actually that segues into my overall thoughts about this movie. The scene where they're leaving the castle to go to the Donkey Kong country and recruit the army. The Toads are all out there and they're cheering for their princess, and the princess is like, I will go to the Kong country and I will bring back their army. And then people are like, hey, who's that guy? And then she freezes and it's like, it doesn't matter. And they go, yay. And I'm like, you're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Great. Great to know that they put the reason the way to make the movie in the movie. Oh my God.
Wow.
I want better. I want better for everyone. And we didn't get that. And it makes me sad. And I hear all of the people who are just like, just shut up and have fun. I don't like you. I know who you are, straw person, and I don't like you. I don't like the way you think. If think is even the proper term.
So, obviously you can hear, John and I both have different experiences with this movie, different thoughts of this movie. I know we give a call out in every episode to let us know what your thoughts and opinions are. This movie is, let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, this movie is going to be in theaters for at least 2 months.
And it's going to be on streaming in like May, which is like, what?
It is mind-boggling how long this movie, like the theater that we saw it at, John, they're literally still going to be showing this in theaters through June.
But then it'll be on home video. Like, again, home video. Funny.
So, you need to go see this movie. You may like it.
No.
You may not like it, but you don't understand. This is life or death.
No, it isn't. If you go see this movie, you will die. That's what I'm going to say. Don't go see this movie. I was actually talking to someone yesterday who used to be in like the server I used to host. And we were just talking about stuff. And I was like, hey, you going to go see the Mario movie? And they're like, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm like, don't go see it. Wait until you can watch it for free somewhere, because just don't pay for it. Don't pay for it. Wait till it's on TV. Holy crap. Like, that's I think the biggest like a mark of disdain I can give toward anything. It's just like, wait until you can either steal it or in other ways get it for free. Do not give them money.
You need to see it
of course.
Well, I'm trying to say we want discourse on this. This is the one we literally want you to tell us. Good, bad, ugly.
At me on Twitter. I swear to God, I will fight you.
So the big reality is this. This movie is, I would say it is on the path for $500 million to $1 billion. It's on that path.
Gross.
Right?
Gross.
The positive with my statement there is that it opens the door for potentially other franchises. Even more. Sonic started it.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Mario'd it. There are other opportunities out there. And executive producers, directors, studios, if you're listening to what I'm saying, we'll watch it. We love video games. We're nerds. But give us a story.
I actually have to debate that, because if they make the Super Mario movie 2, I'm not going to go see it. If this is the precedent they've decided to set for the tone that they're going to take with anything they do with this franchise or these characters or this brand or whatever, no.
Well, I will see it for everyone and review it for everyone.
Good. Those episodes you can edit yourself.
But I'm hoping that people see that it doesn't have to be commercial to movie, right?
Mm.
We've seen from the TV show The Last of Us, we've seen like that narrative can be done and appreciated well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, for as much fun as I had with the Mario movie, I would have had more fun, and I would have given it that 5-star rating. I would have Eberted the hell out of it if there was a narrative.
If there was anything that actually provided any semblance of stakes or anything that you could actually use your brain to comprehend in this movie, it might have been an actual movie, and that would have been nice.
Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that...
Do you have any idea how good it feels to get all of that out of my system? I saw this movie Tuesday at midnight, and I have basically just been shaking the entire time, just give me the shit, just give me the microphone. Give it to me now.
Easy there, B-Rabbit.
Whew. I'm going to mom spaghetti. Mom spaghetti!
So, with that... Oh, my God.
I hope she made a lots of spaghetti. You thought you wouldn't get Ouija in this episode? Guess what?
With that, ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find us at Games with John and James on Facebook, on Instagram,
on Twitter. If whenever I'm not being lazy,
I have a feeling you're going to make quite a few posts on Twitter about this.
I made one. That's all I needed to do. Like there was a meme that was going around of like, it's the picture of Mario on the stairs when it's raining and he looks sad, and it's like when you find the residents aren't evil, or like when your Genshin isn't impactful, and I'm like, if your Mario isn't super,
if your fantasy isn't final.
Exactly. I was also
isn't chrono.
I made a really, really deep cut, stupid one too, called "What if your stick isn't irritating?" Do you know that game?
John, why would you do that?
Do you actually know the game?
You told me about it at one point.
I know, but I thought no one...
Do you think I forget all of our conversations? Are you just like, James isn't going to remember everything?
That's what I do whenever we talk. I dump everything.
Oh, so you turn your switch off.
Yeah, I turn I turn my brain on for literally everything except the show.
Oh my goodness.
I have gone insane. It feels like a weight has been lifted off me. Yes, you can find us on all the socials, and I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? This is a promise. And you're probably going to see this on YouTube at the same time. I will upload this episode simultaneously on YouTube and on our podcasting stuff. Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'll upload it simultaneously on all of our stuff when I find out what actual episode number this is.
So, like we said, you know where to find us. Big thing that we are working on, which has gone live at quitthebuild.com, that Nick and Bruno are graciously hosting Podcasters United with our blogs, articles, reviews, and everything. John's going to have some stuff coming up there. You know, I have a few articles out already. Read it, interact with us, grow that network, grow with us together. Like, This is going to be a fun, wonderful journey. I am literally like, you can ask John. I'm literally like, creative, go.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice to have a pimp.
So we've got huge things on the horizon.
Silence on that. The silence after that was just wonderful.
Well, I had to let it sink in, just a hair.
No, you have to get it straight first. We've been over this.
Oh man. But we've got a lot of big things on the horizon. This is the year of Games with John and James.
Yes. You thought it was going to be the year of like the horse or whatever, or the dragon or whatever. No, it's the year of John and James.
That's right.
Wait, why didn't we call the show Games with John and Jim? That's an off-mic conversation. We'll just go to the outro now. I'm John.
And apparently I'm Jim.
It just works better with the logo design. Anyway, whatever. We'll talk to you later, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Bye. Or as Mario would say,
wahoo! Yeah, that. Okay, bye.